Could this be your next RV? In today's video, we're going to determine just that. We're going to take a look at this beautiful 32-foot Phantom RV. This is built by Nexus, and this coach is simply amazing. I mean, I love the full body paint, and there's so many other features that I love. However, we're going to determine if it's the right coach for you. We're going to look at the pros and the cons of it in this video. You're going to want to watch it. I'm searching for the best of the best, and I may have just that here in this Phantom built by Nexus. Now, there are a lot of features about this Nexus that I really like, including this 3-tone full body paint here. You're going to get the gray, black, and red, which look just simply amazing on there, as well as you're going to get these frameless windows, as well as the awning that's going to come out over this slide that you may not have even noticed it was there, because that paint just flows so well from the slide to the body. A lot of really nice things that are in this RV on the exterior and on the interior. Now, I will tell you that one other thing that I've noticed on this is this does have the big black cap. Now, my worry about that, this may be the first con in this, would be like, is that black going to fade over time and really turn into like a light gray? Now, I would tell you, if you have a coach like this, you may want to have it covered. And if you live in somewhere really hot like Arizona, that's where I could see the real downfall of having that. We're gonna keep moving around this thing. Now, let's talk about this number right here. This is going to be a 32-foot RV, and P is going to be the model or layout. The first thing that I'm going to tell you that I'm on my second con already, I'm going to be honest with you guys, is going to be the awning. So because this is going to have the whole rear section of a slide, so we're looking at about 12 feet of a slide right there, you are going to notice that your awning now is only going to be about half the size of your coach. So when I'm at my camp spot, I put my awning out, I'm really only going to have enough room for about 1, maybe 2 chairs at the most to not obstruct the doorway on there. Man, guys, I hate to be negative Nancy on this because I'm so in love with the way that this coach looks. Now, as we keep working our way to the back of it, this is going to be that full wall slide. We're going to run into 2 things. We're going to have our storage compartment here, and the other thing is going to be this outdoor entertainment area. So you are going to have a TV out there. Now, here's the thing, the slide's out, but you can't even hang out under the awning to watch your TV. I don't know that that was very well thought out. However, again, guys, this is just my 10 cents. Talked about some of the features on the outside of this beautiful Nexus motorhome. We're gonna head inside and see if it's just as pretty. I mean, how could it not be, except that this thing sits so low that the step doesn't open all the way. Wow. So I guess if you're at the RV dealership and looking to buy one of these, make sure your step opens up all the way, because ours doesn't. That's just because of how low this motorhome sits. And I think that that's a very valid thing a lot of people don't consider. You look at this beautiful RV and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just gorgeous. I love it. You fall in love with the inside of it, the outside of it. And then there's those small details that we're gonna get into when we actually take this thing for a drive and see how it drives. But like I said, we're just gonna not step there, we're heading inside. And as you come into this beautiful 32-foot Nexus, you get just overloaded, I want to say, with all of the cool features and just the overall layout on this. Now, this slide is out, much like you would find at your RV dealership. However, I'm no RV dealer, and I'm not trying to sell you anything, so I'm going to give you my honest opinion on what's going on in this probably very expensive coach. Let's start by talking about how many this is going to sleep. Well, there is a large bed behind us. That's going to be a large overhead bed that's easily going to sleep 2 adults. Now, we have this next stop here, which is going to be a dinette, which is also going to make a bed. Yes, it's going to have seating for 4 adults, but most likely you're going to be needing seating for more than that due to how many beds that you've opted in on in a coach like this. I think that it's a little bit more accommodating for larger families, more kids. The other thing that I might like to see is a spot for an additional table over here at the couch. Now, this couch is also going to fold out into a bed, and it looks like, nope, that's just the seat belt, but usually this thing is just gonna pull out, and there you go. Is it going to be that comfortable to sleep on? No. not for an adult, definitely not. This is gonna be more designed for maybe one child, and that's going to be about it. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize is underneath both the dinette and the couch also provides a lot of additional room for storage. That's gonna be my first plus on this Thor Nexus, is the finish work has continued all the way in there. I see a lot of coaches where they don't put the same flooring in there. It looks completely different. There's loose wiring, and I'm not seeing that at all in there. That's going to be really nice. I can store blankets, sleeping bags, kids' toys. One thing that I really like on this that I see in a lot of RVs as well is they're not gonna have the oven, and this is going to do that. Now, however, I'm gonna throw up another con because I know that I have this and I've actually already broken mine just in the flipping it up process. The whole thing shattered and I was like, holy cow, glass everywhere. It was a nightmare. However, you can see that this does rattle on here and they've actually stuck paper towels in there to stop the rattling. Is that really should be a thing on there? I don't know. We're gonna have our standard microwave on there as well. And then as we come over to our kitchen area, I'm gonna tell you two things that I do love. Oh, that doesn't even have it. Oh, it does. So you're gonna have a plug and USB port in the back there, but over here, oh, it doesn't even pop up. I'm gonna say that I like the ones that pop up. I have, again, guys, I'm just comparing this to the last motorhome with a lot of the Jaycos feature a stick that pops up. It's going to give you multiple outlets and multiple USB connections because you know that you always have to be plugged in. So I'm going to get into what I don't like about this kitchen setup in a little bit, and I know that it could work and I'm being ultra nitpicky, but I want to be honest with you on this. So you do have the backsplash that's going to go all the way around, and it stopped just a couple inches short, and I'm like, why not finish that off and make it look just finished and complete? I'm gonna tell you another thing is you have this kick panel which is going to protect so that if you're cooking bacon, grease and stuff isn't going to come over, and I don't know that that's necessarily high enough, and I find that it's pretty silly that it's completely crooked too. I'm being nitpicky, but I know that I'm spending a lot of money and I want my coach to be perfect. I guess you get what you pay for, but when I'm paying this much, I want something really nice. I like the double sink. I'm curious to why that there isn't another cabinet because we've kind of lost that whole area. When we get to the bathroom, we'll see if there's anything there. We're also gonna have our refrigerator, freezer, a lot of room for juice boxes and water. This is gonna be our control panel here. This is gonna control our slides, bringing them in and out. You're gonna have your electronic water heater, your water pump, all of your things of that nature, and also your generator start and stop all right here controlled through this. It's also gonna be able to tell you your black water, your gray water, your fresh water, and your propane all through here. Actually, no propane. We're gonna have to go outside to the tank to actually check that. We're not done. We're heading back to the living area. Now we come into the living quarters where we're gonna find an awesome bunk beds. My kids are always saying, Dad, I want bunk beds on our motorhome. But I do like that they do have more plug-ins. So if they wanna do that, they're also gonna have lights. So if they need to turn on the light in the middle of the night to be able to use the bathroom. The queen bed back here is going to be really nice, and you're also going to have wardrobe closets on both sides as well as a TV. Come into the bathroom, I'm going to say this is where I might be the most comfortable, but as I'm sitting here I might also become the most disappointed. As I come over and just look at this, the tile is coming off the wall, and here it actually completely has come off the wall. I look at some of the defects going on in the shower as well, where it's just peeling away from the overall wall. Now, of course, these are minor little things, and of course they could be fixed, but it's like one more thing to create a punch list to have the RV dealer do, which they usually drag their feet on. I know for me, it took almost 6 months to get my refrigerator fixed, where I was not able to use the RV. Well, I guess I could use it, I just didn't have a refrigerator. A minor thing why you buy an RV. But overall in here, I think that this is gonna be nice. I like the room in here, and if I was even a larger person, I would still be able to fit on there. I think that that's why they conveniently did this little cutout in there. I'm gonna have the storage under there. I mean, it's a bathroom, guys. You're probably not spending a lot of time in here, but I gotta show it to you. So what I'm gonna tell you that I do really like about this is the easy access down this hallway, even with the slide out, in order to get to this rear bed. I've been in a lot of motorhomes where it's like very narrow, or you even have to go through the bathroom in order to get to it. I also like that the bunk beds are going to be extremely accessible, so if the kids want to go take a nap on that long drive, they're able to just go and hang out in their bunk bed, close the curtains on there. I like that a lot. I think that this is great how much room you have walking down this hallway. I'm also going to be able to access the bathroom very easily. The door actually opens up all the way so that I know the kids are going to have to use the bathroom on those long road trips. Now, I will tell you, this is the one thing that I was kind of like, but I think with the swinging faucet, I still could get to the sink and be able to use it enough. I'm not gonna have access to both sinks, but I think that that's a small thing that I would get over on this. And then right here as well, we're gonna have a lot of room going up this middle walkway still too, in order to get to the driver and passenger seat. I think that that's really nice as well. I'm able to walk through this whole RV even with the slide outs in. We're gonna go take this for a drive. Let's go. One of my favorite seats is going to be the driver's seat. I don't care what it is. I love driving, whatever it may be. Give me a motorhome, give me a Volkswagen Bug. Today, it's going to be behind the wheel of this E450, and this is going to be that 7.3 liter gas engine that we talked about. We're gonna make some turns in this thing. I wanna see overall how it handles, and even pulling into driveways. We already realized that that step is like ridiculously low and doesn't already want to come out. Maybe it was just the slight angle that we were at, but I'm gonna say that that's probably going to be a problem. I know that a lot of these newer Class Cs sit really low, and that's a big issue. And that's where companies like Weldtech Designs come into play, because you need more height out of it. You want a better ride. That's going to be really important with any coach. And I mean, that's something that I would love to even see come on coaches like this. And you do get that normal kind of like rocking back and forth, which I think is pretty typical out of most RVs. I don't think that this Nexus has any suspension upgrades, other than I did notice it is going to have a rear helper spring. This one is not by Hellwig, it's actually by Super Steer, and it is a parabolic spring in the rear. It does not have any aftermarket shocks or steering stabilizers on it as well. So this is going to be just a bone stock suspension. And you can see by the steering wheel, I'm constantly kind of like reacting to how this is turning or leaning into this turn. Not anything crazy, it is staying pretty true. Well, as I say that, we start going to the left. I know that that's a really big thing, is getting your RV properly aligned. And I would tell you that whether you have an old RV, but really if you have a new RV, I would highly recommend that you get an alignment done. I did a whole video on getting your new RV alignment done. I'll throw up a card, check that out. And my 10 cents is add more caster to your RV. It'll really help it go straight. Another big thing that we do on a lot of stock RVs is doing that steering stabilizer up on the front of it. And as we drive over these trolley tracks coming up, we can kind of see like overall what kind of movement we get out of the front of this, and what the steering does. Stays pretty nice. I mean, you saw it kind of jerk, but not a big deal. We're gonna jump on the freeway and see how this does. I am hearing a drive shaft vibration as well. And as funny as that is, I have a video talking about how to properly align your drive shaft. Typically, it is a noise that will come on at about 62 miles an hour. It is a slight humming noise and will go away at 67 miles an hour. I'm taking my hands off the wheel, and as we count, we're at 6, 7, 8. I've completely changed lanes doing 60 miles an hour. And that's what I talk about having your RV properly aligned. You could really eliminate that without having to spend money on, expensive band-aids is what we call it, to try to fix it. It just needs a better alignment. The reason being is that these are typically aligned before the box gets put on them. It's a lot of weight to it. So usually we're gonna find that these things are a little bit positive camber on them, and that's going to wear your tires unevenly. We never want that, of course. So I'm throwing down a ton of knowledge and my expertise as we take a drive in this Nexus. You can do me a favor by smashing that subscribe button, giving this video a big thumbs up, because you want to come back and hang out with me, take a look at more RVs, and go for drives and get the real opinion, because hey, I'm not selling anything here. Most of you guys are going to be driving these a lot on the freeway, and that's going to be really important. I'm going to say that overall this does drive pretty nice on the freeway. We're going to be at a good 7. The one thing that I don't like is just, I'm going to say, the 7-second lane change, where we're going into the left lane after about 7 seconds. So I do know that this needs an alignment, and as you can see, I let my hand off the wheel, and within 3 seconds I'm going to get that noise saying, hey dummy, you're driving off the road. I don't think that this thing drives really bad at all. It is all stock suspension. I'm going to give this thing, you know, a good 6.5. It's a stock motorhome. What do you expect? That vibration though, that's actually going to take it down to a 6. I'm sorry, I'm hearing that now because I'm stuck at like 63 miles an hour, and I can't help but just hear that noise now. All right, so we have determined that this is a good 6 driving on the freeway. Now, what we really want to know is around town and getting to your favorite camp spot, how is it going to do? So there are the dips and things that we are very cautious of now, because not only does the rear of this sit really low, but the step sits really low as well. And I'm worried about ripping that thing off. Those steps are not cheap, and it's not something that I want to replace really soon on this brand new RV. I'm gonna have to factor in the step cost, which could be $800, not as well as installing it. It's a little nerve-wracking, but it sounds like it does it without scraping anything, which I'm really excited about that. And as you go in and out of these gas stations, it's kind of almost nail-biting knowing if you're going to make it or not make it. And as you hear it just drag as you pull into the gas station, it's quite painful, but you know that what's going to be even more painful is filling it up. So you're like, what hurts more? I think they both hurt. I think that that's the one thing about this coach that I'm gonna just be like, these sit so low and just dragging. You can't avoid a gas station. It's the one thing that you have to go to in a motorhome, and just pulling in and out of this driveway is enough to make me just not even want gas.
All right, here comes the fun part, guys. We're gonna head over to Big J's chart and see exactly where this Nexus Phantom ranks. Again, this is a Ford E450 chassis, and we're gonna break down the 10 components of this to see overall where this is going to rate. Now, there is a lot of features in this RV, so I'm giving that a big 7. I think that overall comfortability, yes, it is pretty nice, and it's going to only be at a 6. There was definitely some things about it that, you know, I think would be great if it's just 2 people. With a family of 6, it's not going to quite rank higher than that. Now, quality and longevity of this coach, I mean, I think that there is a ton of quality that went into this. This is a very, very nice coach coming out by Nexus. I mean, I really like how everything was done in this. I think that it was put together really well, giving it a 7. Now, when it comes to drivability, we're going to only give it a 6. Now, granted, I'm trying to look at it from a couple different perspectives. I love the full body paint. However, I am worried about just anything and everything, tree branches, things of that nature that would destroy that. And having that dark color black, you know, like I feel like I would hit I'd be worried about any tree branch. Now, this coach is coming in a lot bigger, so obviously the longer the coach that you have, the more difficult it is going to be to drive it. Overall, I don't think that this coach was hard to drive whatsoever, but on an overall rating, it does get up in there to that. I'm giving it a 6 on there. All right, value. I mean, granted, this coach is beautiful. However, coming in at the price tag that it did, I don't know that I could justify spending that much more for some of the smaller amenities going in it. So that's getting a 6. The layout in this coach, it's definitely a 2-person, maybe 4-person friendly coach. And that's a big coach for only doing 4 people in there. So again, my layout in this coach is a 6. The next big thing, with any Class C, these lack storage in them. This definitely did not have a lot of storage in this, so it's going to rank at a 5 for me. So sleeping, yes, big coach, still going to only sleep maybe 5 to 6 people. Sleeping, it is going to get a 6. Versatility, meaning just overall, where am I going to be able to go? What am I going to do? And how is this coach going to work for the majority of people? Like, it's going to be 7. Like, it's an awesome coach. Don't get me wrong. I do, really like this coach. I think it's beautiful. The windows, of course, it has the frameless windows. You know that I absolutely hate those windows. So I think that any coach, I'm just going to throw it out there. You got frameless windows, you're probably only getting a 5. So that's going to rank this total coach at a 61 out of 100. My Big J score on this, well, hold off. Let's talk about the price on this. It is $159,000, which, oh man, that is a lot of money. At least for me, I think that I could definitely spend my money more wisely. So these are some of the things that I'm looking at, and maybe why that this coach ranked a little bit lower than maybe what you would rank it at. Of course, I would love to hear, what you think of this coach, what you would rank it at, and let me know, because I mean, that's what's really important, is hearing from you guys as well. So this coach is going to get a 5.5 overall score on there. Now, I'm going to tell you also, my favorite thing on this coach definitely was the full body paint. I mean, I love the black on there, but at the same time, I feel like in the long term, that's also going to be my least favorite thing, because I'm curious, like, unless I do a lot of upkeep, unless this thing is stored inside, like, how long will this paint last? And then at the same time, like, will it be dated in 10 years? You always see those coaches, you're like, oh man, you see like the awesome Prevo coaches, and you're like, yeah, that's cool. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and it just becomes that whole thing. So, and the last thing is I work a ton. So am I going to really be able to keep this coach clean? I think that that's going to be another big deal on this. It's going to be really hard to keep clean. You're going to be constantly painting it or waxing it to keep that paint looking great. So there it is. There is what this RV ranks. This is what me, Big J, is ranking this RV at. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Otherwise, I'm going to see you guys in the next RV. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to rank these things and see what we can find to be the best RV. And thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'm Big J. See you guys.